You're on Reality Check Radio. It's Real Talk with Rodney Hyde. America has Elon Musk and Doge. New Zealand has this man, David Baker. If you're on X and you're like me and you love X, follow him. What is it? D Baker NZ.
D Baker NZ. It's pretty simple, man. Wanted to keep it easy.
Well, the great thing is, you mightn't have put a rocket up in the sky. You mightn't have built a
Yep.
car. But man, you've got some energy for this stuff, haven't you?
It's good. It's just good fun. And at this point, Rodney, it's just a laugh, eh? So
And you're
yeah,
ringing these bureaucrats up.
yeah, man. Ring them up on the phone, just point blank ask them questions, and it's funny when you just watch them turn these questions away or just say, "Oh, I can't give you an answer on that," and it's like, "Sorry, don't you work for the taxpayer, the ratepayer?"
And you post it.
I just love reposting it, man.
They must hate you.
I definitely know 100% for a fact we've been shadow banned on TikTok. I've had about people message me and say, "Hey man, we never see your stuff anymore, and most of your videos barely break 1,000 views," which is interesting because when I used to put informative building content out, we would get 10 to 20,000 views, and in the early days, our council hit piece videos would get 100,000 views minimum. So yeah, it's. I hope we're ruffling some feathers, and I'm sure we are behind the scenes. But yeah, we'll just move to X and Twitter and just keep doing what we're doing, man. So it's good
Do you
fun.
have an end game or you just love it each day?
Bro, Rodney, it's just good marketing for our business. It gives me credibility, and I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I'm financially well off and this is just fun." It's good marketing for our business. I find it fun, and I find like I'm starting to get a bit of a passion for it because I don't know. I just look at how hard my parents work, my grandparents work, and at the moment in the New Zealand building industry, it is really really hard. It's very tough right now for guys. A lot of guys are liquidating. A lot of guys are slow. And if you're a homeowner, Rodney, and I come to you and say, "Hey, my project to do your extension should cost $65,000, but the paperwork and council fees are unfortunately 25 grand," and you go, "Shit, man, I've only got a budget of 65. I can't really stretch to 90 or 85. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pull the pin." That hurts. That really hurts, guys. So yeah, would just love to, I don't know, do my bit and
And
see what comes of it.
and we'll get into the examples, but it's extraordinary to me because I'm old enough to remember when we had public servants and they took it seriously and a government department was actually responsive to people.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
lived in your community and they'd go out of their way to be decent.
yeah,
What we've got now is all this hierarchy, and by that I mean layers and layers and layers of management, and they are overlords in the sense that they're telling us how we can do everything like that, and it never occurs to them that, as you say in your brilliant posts, we pay for you, you work for us. They
yeah.
regard us as plebs to be bossed about.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, man. I made a post the other day. I think you might have seen it when they said, "Oh, you're not worried about the backlash or like, making it harder to do things." I'm like, "Listen, man, I'll move all my property into my parents' names, but guess who comes crawling back when they need their rates paid? The
Yes,
frickin' council people. When you little peasants need all your bills paid, you'll come back and ask politely, 'Please pay your bill.'"
yes. No, you
So,
can't be scared. I've always had that
nah,
philosophy.
nah,
Tell me
couldn't give a
about your
shit.
hat. I just can't quite read it.
Make councils accountable again.
There we go. Look at that. Brilliant. Now, um, what do you think is going on, just philosophically? What do you think is going on in these councils that they're behaving so abominably before we get into some examples?
Yeah, it's like you hit the nail on the head, man. And I feel like they just think that they're above everyone else. And it just pisses me off because I know, like, speaking from a business owner's perspective, and that's who I deal with every single day. like, just to give you an overview, Rapid QS is working in 3 different countries. We've got a team of 15. We're looking to double or triple this thing in 1 to 2 years. We're investing well over $200,000 into tech. I'm trying to help as many residential builders as we can. Um, I just think like I could walk into any council and get a job straight away. I just think the barrier to entry to work at these places is piss easy. It's failed businessmen, failed builders that are working in these places. And I feel like they jump into the seat of, oh, I've got power over people now. Oh, I could stop this builder from signing off his project because I have to sign it off. And I feel like they just think they're better than everyone. And I'm like, you guys are on minimum wickets. You're all running inefficiently. You're taking 3 to 4 coffee breaks a day. You're knocking off at 3:30. You're rolling into the office at 8:45. It's just I just don't like it, man.
And yeah, the
I don't
culture,
like how, yeah,
the
yeah,
culture, and I can imagine you go and work there, and the culture of everyone, no one caring, no one taking responsibility, and you just give up. It's like walking into a corrupt culture. Well, it is a corrupt culture. You
yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah,
fight it, and so you either stay and
yeah,
become part of the corruption, or you leave. I've actually had a taste of that power
yeah,
being
yeah,
a
yeah.
minister, and it is intoxicating. And I remember sitting in a food hall when they had every seat that you couldn't sit. Yeah, good. Remember that? Every 2 seats out of three were blocked off, and all the
Yeah,
rest
yeah,
of
yeah,
it. And I can imagine literally sitting around cabinet and ministers, including me, getting high. Oh, should we make it 5 meters or 10 meters? Oh, what should we do? And it's like every small person's revenge, right?
yeah,
I'll fix those bullies that beat me up at school. I'll make them sit
yeah, yeah,
10
yeah.
meters apart. And it's
Look,
that power does that to a person.
yeah. It's just I don't know, man. There's such a big can of worms, but it's like I just don't know. I just know I'm a very like long-term player. Whatever I do, I think long-term. So right now, I'm expecting like nothing major to happen for the next 12 months, but slowly, day after day, post after post, video after video, more and more people I feel like are kind of like sticking to the whole
Yes.
thing, and I'm getting more messages, more things to put out. Like I've got a like being able to talk to you is awesome. Your audience is
Yeah.
huge. I've been on multiple other podcasts now,
I
and
know.
hopefully I think I can start gathering a bit more momentum, and we could make some real like difference here. But it'd be so mean just to go into those councils, look at their P&L, look at the inefficiencies of every single person. What are you physically doing this week? What have you physically done? What's
Yes.
on your to-do list? And be like, you're only doing 3 things a week, scrap you, cut that job. AI could replace you. This council's got 25 people. We can shrink it to 15, implement a few systems, actually get a CEO that cares about it, drop their rates down to a base salary, put them on a commission structure if they achieve X, Y, and Z targets, or shit, pay the CEO more if they can bring the rates down by running more efficiently. I just think we need to look at that stuff. Like, why are their rates and wages going up every year? Like, can't we be cutting back and trimming back on these things?
Do you know about the roundabout in Queenstown, Frankton?
Man, I haven't have enough. Very baseline. Not, I haven't dug into it,
I
but
heard that that roundabout is 250 million.
I've had about 5 messages on TikTok about that, and I've had one message which is he was very respectful to what we're doing, but he also said, "Don't post anything until you get the Lajima request." There's a lot more that is going into that than expected, so I kind of left that one alone.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I
there's a
can
full new bus stop and stuff going on, but all I'm trying to do, and this leads me on to my next point, Rodney, if you want me to run a
yes.
point, is I'm trying to do my best job to price apples with apples. When I first started pricing, it was kind of like NZ Herald article. I don't know if you can trust the mainstream media anymore, probably not. So I kind of was like, okay, I did 5 videos on that. They were hit pieces, sweet, all good. Got me some traction, found me an angle. And now I'm like, okay, I need to do the Lajima request, get the plans, get the scope of works, then reprice the project.
Yep.
So I'm trying so hard, man, but you don't get anything. Like this word, commercially sensitive, is driving me crazy. And I've got a good meeting on Tuesday with I don't know if I can say his name, but I'll say it anyway. I think it's Peter Williams at New Zealand Taxpayers Association.
Yes,
So
yes.
he's willing to come and do a podcast, and I said I want to do a two-part, one with you, one with a physical, like an actual lawyer that knows the rules. And I want to say, is this commercially sensitive stuff legal or illegal? Because I
Mm.
just get hit with, we can't give you this data, and I'm like, sorry, I think you need to. Like it's not a privately tendered project. It's a public project that public people are paying for. So, for example, paying. Oh, you go.
Oh, I'm going to tell you how it's supposed to work.
Please tell me.
The principle of the Official Information Act and the Local Government Official Information Act, LGUMA, is that all information is available. Full stop. That is it.
Yeah,
Everything has to be made available. Why? Because it's a public entity. Now,
yeah,
there are exceptions, but the exceptions are supposedly to be so narrow and so tightly circumscribed. But of course, these councils hate scrutiny, they hate accountability. And so when
yeah.
you ask for information, the answer is usually no. If it's embarrassing, they'll give you rubbish. But
Uh, oh,
it's you,
they're good at handing out rubbish. I tell you
yeah.
that.
And they make a no, and they know that the ombudsman is totally overwhelmed with complaints because he oversees the system of they didn't provide me with this. And so
Yeah.
you're looking at 3 years, 4 years of him to get to it, right?
Fuck.
And so it's just become a game, like
Yeah.
everything that the bureaucracy does, because they have your money, they make the rules, they have the power, and you're a poor citizen funding yourself with limited time, and they know that 99 times out of 100, you will give up.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I completely agree.
Tell
I
me
just
about,
know
sorry,
I just know how much credibility it's giving our business across the
great,
board. So
great.
that's
I'm
why
pleased.
I've just assigned myself within the company, hey guys, I'm media, PR, and attacking councils, and it
Great,
brings in more business for us. So
great.
yeah,
And you'll enjoy Peter Williams immensely.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just love straight shooters, man. Like I came off a farm in Wanganui. I just love practical, common sense, straight down the middle. I hate
Hmm.
bullshit. I hate fluff. I hate fat and bloat, and I hate bullshit. I just
Mm,
hate bullshit.
mm.
And I'll be the first to admit if I'm in the wrong. And I've said openly so many times, all I need is one council person to come to me, open up your books. I'll come to you at my own cost, and I'll bring a video guy, and you can make me look like a fool on camera if you show me your costs and say you are miles out, shut up and go away. But until that day comes, I'm going to keep pushing on because I think I'm right.
Tell us some of your campaigns.
Rightio, mate. So the one that's really funny is the potholes. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. So I sent a Legima request out to about I think 30 councils across New Zealand, and I only had three good replies. So firstly, I want to sit on here and say I'm fully down the middle. So Waitomo Council, man, these guys are gangsters. They gave me all the costs to fix one pothole. $84.17 to fix a pothole over between 300 and 800 mil in diameter, and $65.19 to fix a pothole in 300 mil under in diameter. So shout out Waitomo Council,
Shout
man.
out Waitomo.
Shout
And
out
of course,
Waitomo.
an
Hey,
extremely small council in the
yeah.
community.
And they gave me the details. They charge their laborers out at $61.17 an hour for two guys. That's very good rates. One truck at $71.25, a call out fee, which is very fair. And they gave me a mix for their one bucket of asphalt mix at $61. Like these guys are gangsters, man. That is so cool. Western Bay of Plenty Council, commercially sensitive. Northland, they were pretty good. 25K roughly, $25,860 to maintain 1,789 kilometers of road. So I don't mind that one. Now that's a lump sum cost every month paid. So I'm kind of on the fence because what if that contractor did no work for that month?
Hmm.
Do they still get 25,000? But then I'm also on the other side of the fence. What if they worked triple the next month? So I'm
Mm.
okay with that. Over the course of a year, sweet. It's like any business. You might have some months that are really, really good, some months that are average, some months that are shit. Over the course of a year, you still made 25% profit. So give me your thoughts on that. I don't mind that breakdown. I think
No,
it's pretty fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um,
the fact that they're open with it is a
yeah,
big plus because you think, well, they obviously are happy with this because they're
yeah,
prepared to put it out there.
for sure. So that's okay. So Western Bay of Plenty Council, wouldn't trust them. Waitomo Council, definitely trust these guys. Please pay your rates. Northland Council, pay your rates, but I'd still ask more questions. Far North Council, they were happy to disclose, but they didn't give me the numbers. Auckland Council, commercially sensitive, and Wellington Council, commercially sensitive. So they don't
Unbelievable.
want to tell me how much it is to fix a pothole.
How did you word the request?
I literally just plug it into ChatGPT. Please give me the formal information request in New Zealand for request of information for this topic. Yeah, and to be fair, Rodney, I'm getting a lot of support from people saying, "Hey, please let me help with your Legima requests, etc. I'm happy to
Yes.
help and do free work." Um, but this is my thing, man. Like to give everyone an example of how much fat could be reduced in councils. So I gave this analogy to my girlfriend this morning around ChatGPT. She thinks it's a load of shit. I pay for the pro version, right? So if our company quotes 250 jobs a month, right? Or a month, it used to take me maybe 15 to 20 minutes to scan a set of plans, find out the key information, what I need to know, and what I'm going to ring the builder and talk to about. Now I plug the plans into ChatGPT and say, please give me a summary on these 15 items. I copy and paste that into my Word document, have a quick scan, ring the builder, done. So I've just shaved 15 minutes to 2 minutes. Okay. So if you're telling me the councils have 15 to 20 staff, why are we not like trimming that number right back, or they can be more productive if they could use these simple things? I reckon if I got the opportunity to go into a council and say, hey, can you increase the P&L of this council over the course of 3 months by 20%? I reckon I could do it.
Yes.
And I would do it for fun, just
Yes.
to prove, and I'd do it for free. I'd give up my own time for free to show
Mm.
how I reckon I could strip people out, remove bullshit, and increase productivity.
How great is AI?
It's amazing. And Rodney, I know right now, if we didn't invest in this 200K figure into this future stuff that we need to do, I have no business in 3 years.
Yes.
So I'm moving with the times. I'm okay with it. It's amazing. And to do these Legima requests is so easy. And wait
Mm.
till I get my AI chatbot so the members of the public can log in. They can make a donation of $5 to $30. We'll automatically chase up their Legima, lodge it, request it, and it will do an email blast to the council every 5 days with like funny messages saying, "Hey, TikTok, you've got 10 days left. TikTok, you got 5 days left." Um, anyway, I'm using AI to its full capacity. Um, so yeah.
And it's actually like the start of the internet or the smartphone.
Yeah.
When it happened, you sort of think, oh, yeah, that's cool. But you have no idea of what's coming. Like
Yeah,
with the internet, with web
yeah,
browsers, with the smartphone, you had no idea what's coming. To me, people are living unaware of the significance of artificial intelligence in their everyday life.
yeah. Well, you walk next time you go into frickin' Countdown or a Z petrol station. How many people are there now
I know.
versus 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I would be very concerned with people sending their kids to university right now before they rack up a massive debt. I would be doing some hard sitting down and be like, is this going to be a job in 5 years? And if it's
Yes.
not, you're not going to go and invest $60,000 into Auckland University. I would
No.
love to see Auckland University numbers drop drastically.
Hmm.
And oh my God, this guy's a dumbass. No, I'm serious. Like, think about the amount of associate lawyers at
We're
university
just cutting
now.
up. We're just
Um, and
carry on about the unit. We were just talking about associate lawyers.
yeah, I just think, if you look at, for example, I've got one junior QS on board with me now, and just with me managing him, and we've got a team of 15, just by me and him starting to use ChatGPT and scanning plans and getting takeoffs, he's doing 4 times the output of work that I would have been doing a year ago. So, associate lawyers, think about how quickly, when I get a 60-page Legima request, I just plug it into ChatGPT, scans the article in 30 seconds, and sends me back a brief. So think about every legal document that's going out, and they've got 10 associates in the back room scanning, looking for angles and doing stuff. As you train your ChatGPT to find the same stuff, one lawyer is going to be doing the output of 10 lawyers in 2 years for sure. They're probably doing it now. So that's very high level. I don't want to talk on lawyers because I'm not a lawyer, but just think
But like,
about
and
if
even like an employment contract, a property
correct,
contract, it'll just write it.
correct.
It'll do
So
your accounts.
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. A nutritionist. I plugged my weight, attached a photo, put my height and what I do every day into ChatGPT, and I said, write me a detailed plan of what I need to eat, how many calories, how many carbs, fats, and protein every day to achieve my weight drop of 2 kgs over the next 6 weeks. Boom, done. Nutrition plan. No more sitting on a 30-minute meeting, no more paying someone $100 a week. Nutritionists should be worried. Personal trainers should be
Personal
worried.
trainers gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Recipe books gone. You'd
yeah.
never get a
Everything.
recipe book.
Yeah. Bedtime stories. You
Yeah,
can put that
yeah,
on ChatGPT. You can write a subscription and it will automatically send one out every
yeah.
single day. Um,
I'm using Grok,
yeah,
and I haven't got. I'm actually going to buy it because I
yeah.
just use
Please,
it. Can I tell
once
you
you
my
buy it,
favorite story?
yes, please do.
We're getting distracted because we're excited because AI is just the bee's nuts.
Yeah,
Um, I wanted a complicated rotary switch to switch between two electrical components. And I went into Radcliffe's and spoke to Artie there, he's a lovely guy. And he went back and forth and back and forth, back and forth to the supplier. He was on the phone to them. I had to come back the next day and they had worked out what I needed. And I paid the money and the part turned up. And I got it home and I couldn't see how to wire it, right? And so I Googled everything I could. I downloaded the manual of these switches. There's thousands of these switches, and I found my switch. And I still couldn't see. It was written for electricians, right? I couldn't understand how to do it. So I fired up Groke. After spending an hour on Google and reading
yeah, yeah,
manuals,
yeah.
not getting it, I fired up Groke and I said, listen, I want to connect my EcoFlow battery. I want to swap between my EcoFlow battery and my petrol generator, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And they've given me, I can't remember the name, Kai and Kaiser and Naima, CAB A220. And Groke said, you've got the wrong one. You need a CAB 221. And the reason that you need
Wow,
a
that.
CAB 221 is this. And there's been a miscommunication because, that will never work for what you want. I go back to Radcliffe's and I say, oh, this won't work. Oh, you said, well, I've been on the phone. They went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they were so convinced I was wrong.
Yeah,
And he said, well, leave it with me. And then sheepishly the next day they said, actually, that's the wrong one. You need the CAB A221.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
Wow.
great leveler, isn't it?
Don't go up against my robot.
Wow. What
Yeah,
happens when you combine that with a robot?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because we've got no idea what's coming.
Yeah, man. And I don't have kids yet, but when I have kids, they're gonna be learning a practical skill,
Yes.
you know? So yeah, anyway, the world's gonna change massively, but right now I just feel like I'm on a mission with this stuff and
Well,
I'm
you can
really
see
enjoying
you
it.
can see that at least with a business, right? There is an incentive like you because efficiency is your bottom line. It's the difference
Yeah,
between surviving and not surviving or making money and just paddling water.
yeah,
So, like it or not, law firms, quantity surveyors, building company, every business in the world is going to be radically changed in the next couple of years
yeah, mate.
because they're going to have to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Councils don't.
Hmm.
They're going to be sitting there in the 19th century
Yeah, they
and
are.
we're living in the 21st.
They're absolute clowns. I'm going to give you an example on KO because this is a big topic. And I was sitting in Takapuna Beach Cafe with a builder the other day, and a guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, man, are you the council guy?" And I said, do not put me in council." No, so I was being a dick, but I said, "Yeah, I am. I don't work for the council, but I'm going to have a crack at them." And he said, mate, if, the amount of stock that KO is trying to sell at the moment to get rid of stock is wild.
Now,
But
this is the
this
Housing New Zealand.
Housing New Zealand. But what I find interesting, so I posted this call the other day and I was ringing Darren Toy, right? He was apparently the general construction manager for those townhouses down in Rotorua, 630,000, 20,000 a square meter to frickin' build, man. Anyway, I couldn't get his no one was getting through to him. I was sending him emails, nothing. Man, this guy squealed. I had him squirming, eh? I called him up. Someone on TikTok said, hey, thank me later. Here's Darren Toy's personal number.
Oh,
Boom,
great.
gotcha. Set up my phone, record, ring, 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 pick up. Hey, it's Darren here. Hey, Darren, David Baker. And I reckon he knew who I was, and he probably knew I was recording the call. Who knows? Anyway, I asked him, I said, hey, man, just want to get some info on the call, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hey, I have to go back to my team, blah, blah, blah. I said, Darren, I built a house last year. I roughly know it cost $376,000 to build. How much was the physical cost for those builds? Oh, I can't tell you off the top of my head. And I said, you can't tell me off the top of the head, or you don't want to tell me? And he said, oh, sorry, I'm driving at the moment. I was like, mate, you know the cost. If you were in charge of that job, you know the cost. And I said, Darren, how about I just give you an easy question? I'll just say, roughly how much was just the labor bill? What was your labor only builder? Because I know you would have gone and tendered to 3 labor only builders to come and do the interior fit out or whatever it was for the container. I can't give you that off the top of my head. Anyway, so did the Legima request. They came back and they've just given me 4 pages, Legima, like commercially sensitive. But I asked for every single line item. I said, for example, I even attached an example of my spreadsheet for a new build I'd done for a client, hid the address, 400 line items for a new build. I said, where is the geotech cost? Where's the geotech cost? How much did the geotech cost? How much did the shipping cost from the container, from the port to the site? How much was the HIAB cost? How much was the project management cost? They can't give you any of that shit. I got a 0 line item quote. P&Gs, labor, materials, nothing. It's such a scam. But I'm like, what do I do now? Like I've done the official Legina. I'll email the ombudsman and then nothing will happen.
So just get the top level of this. This is Housing New Zealand. They've got a Maori name now. Neither you or I know what it is.
Uh,
KO, they get called. KO'd by you.
yeah.
They are building container houses. They're actually out of a 40-foot container.
Mate, less. They're the size of okay, you might what is 40 foot into cubic square meters? Because I'm working off the average 1 bedroom houses around about 68 to 75 square meters. So
Okay. But
whatever
they
that
are
is.
off a shipping container, or have they made a container?
Well, I can't get the information.
Wow. So they made a little container house, small
Yeah.
house. How big is it, you say?
I'll go 70 squares, 1 bedroom.
And per square meter,
Yeah.
$20,000.
22, 20,000. And I built a house last year myself, a small fish in a massive pond. I only built 2 little houses last year. I built for 2,400 a square meter. GJ Gardner spec, James Hardy cladding, nice bathroom, tiled floor, waterproof, walk-in shower, nothing fancy in the kitchen. 2.2K, about 2,450, including landscaping. So it's like, how can I run these figures so off the top of my head and then a public servant company and a public servant employee can't give me rough figures over the phone?
But 20,000 per square meter is a billionaire's house.
Yeah, that's wild. So I just have a few
You mean
questions.
like they're building at scale? They're building a
Yeah,
little house. They're building to provide for people who otherwise wouldn't have a house.
yeah,
And it's costing what a
yeah,
billionaire would say, this is the most luxurious house on the North Shore.
yeah,
I'm going to build it.
yeah. So I've got the plan. Like I've got some plan. They're low spec, like they're nothing fancy. So I'm just like, okay, well, I know how much it costs to build this. Why is it this? And where's the detail? Because we need to see where the money's going. And if a labor only bill for these houses, and I do 20 labor only reports a month for builders around New Zealand, I know it's between $300 and $450 a square meter to build a labor only house. And that includes, standing frames, ready for roof, truss, soffit linings, cladding, interior linings, etc., etc. So, like, are they charging $100,000 bill to someone to get paid, and then the builder gets 8 grand, and then that $92,000 is just going to someone's back pocket? I don't know. But there's got to be someone we can go in and see the transfer of money, all the invoices, all the
Have you
payments, you
been
know?
to Audit New Zealand
No, but that's a good one. I'll write that down.
and the Auditor General and just say, look, you need to look at this and write a formal complaint. Get ChatGP to write a complaint to the
Yeah,
Auditor
I,
General.
I will, and I'm sure Peter Williams will steer me in the right way next week. But they said they're going to find like one of their lawyers that they use, and fingers
Great,
crossed they can come in and we can see.
great.
But and then the other one is it was an NZ Herald article the other day. Leanne Mash apparently has been on annual leave for a year. I called the
Yeah, who
council
is she?
yesterday. Now, I think she is the CEO or she runs the Dunedin City Council. You can't trust New Zealand Herald, but even if she was off work for a third of that time, that's 4 months of the year. So I rang someone at the front desk and I said, hey, very politely, hey, just touching base. I just want to have a chat with Leanne Mash. Is she in the office today? Oh no, I can't give that information out. Why are you immediately on the defensive? Why are you immediately on the defensive? Oh, hey, sorry, no, she's not in there today. Can I leave a message? So I'm just like instantly there's like a defensive thing there, you know? Anyway, I hopped around the question. I put this on YouTube. It's like a 10-minute video of me
Yes, I watched it. So
hopping
good.
around, trying to just dig in and move some shit. And I just said, hey, back to Leanne, like, is she there? Like, when can I expect her to be in the office? And just shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. So it's just like, it's bad, man. It's so bad.
And
Um,
you can't find out. She will be on 400,000 a year probably.
yeah, bro. Absolutely. Do you know how many hours I have to work to make 400 grand a year?
Uh,
Like I'm in this office 24/7. And if
yeah,
I'm overseas in London or if I'm in Croatia
you're
playing
not getting
tennis,
paid.
you put my girlfriend on a podcast, man, and say, how many hours does that guy work? And when is he not on his phone? I recharge my phone probably 3 times a day, Rodney. Yeah. Anyway, and then the last one that I got from a builder on Instagram last night. He just sent me a screenshot. I put it on X this morning. His development contribution costs in 4 months have gone from $56,000 to $109,000 for some units. Builder in Tauranga. So that just goes back to my point of why I'm doing this because if that was a builder trying to get a job over the line for a client, stepping them through the whole process, design, council, the build, the materials, the subbies, and then the final quote comes together to present. Guys, I'm so sorry. We've got to slap another 50K on for what? Not a fancier kitchen, not extending the footprint by another 10 square meters. No, 50 grand in development contribution costs, and then Taranga's council's there spending $420,000 on fricking coffees.
My
You
father
joking?
got married in 1948. He bought some land, and his father-in-law and brothers milled timber on the land, pit sawed the logs,
Yeah,
and built houses, outhouses, dug a well by hand with a bucket and a shovel, um, and built a house and lived in it with a family of five. And that house still stands today.
yeah. And how
But
much what were their council fees?
he wouldn't have told the council.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
I mean, they would have just built the house. Like the
Yeah, yeah,
council
yeah.
might have come along and said, "Oh, I note you got a house here. Here's a post office number for you." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They would
yeah,
never
yeah,
have. He That's just in a generation, like my dad's generation. And so they just did stuff. No one thought to get a permit. I mean, it's even funnier than that. He drove trucks
yeah.
for a living. He never got a license.
Ah,
I
I
mean, it
think,
never
yeah,
occurred. Had never. He was driving a trucks, and someone said, "Oh, Phil, you got to get a license." He says, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, you're supposed to get a license to
yeah,
drive a truck." And he said he
yeah, yeah,
drove into the council and said, "I understand," all the police or something, and said, "I understand. I need a council." And they says, "Oh, yeah, you do. Here's a license." They said, "What do you need to be driving?" And he said, "Oh, well, put down a motorbike, put down a truck, put down a car." "Oh, okay." And they put it all down and said, "Here's your license."
yeah. I think it was my dad actually. He had to get his heavy traffic. He went in. This would have been in the bloody late '90s, and yeah, they said, "Oh, sorry, we're all booked in, but you look like a farmer kind of guy." And they said, "Oh, if you just go in and just back this trailer through this gate
That's
with this
right.
truck on, here's your fucking license."
That's what I did. In fact,
Yeah,
I was
that's
even funnier than that. I went at 18 to get my truck and trailer license, and I turned up, and it was,
Yeah.
you normally would take an Arctic, and I couldn't
Yeah.
get an Arctic. I got a four wheel. I could only get a four-wheel trailer, and I turn up, and the cop says, "Back it in there." And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh yeah, I'm 18." I said, "Have you got your heavy trailer license?" He says, "Yes." I says, "Why don't you back it in there and show me how it's done?" Because I knew you couldn't get it in. It was for an Arctic. You couldn't get a four-wheel trailer in.
Like
Anyway,
that is
these are
funny.
there has to be a ground up revolution.
Yeah, man.
Pull these people down and hold them to account. And I love what you're doing.
Thanks, mate. Do you know what I'd find funny, Rodney, is I would just love to start any kind of petition or movement to be like everyone just like if at a certain date we marketed it for a year and we said no one in New Zealand, even if we got 20% of homeowners, said we're not going to pay our rates until we get transparency of spending.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. I won't pay. I've got 6 properties. I won't be paying my fucking rates. I'll
No,
be the first one to do it.
there we go.
Um, that would be amazing. I'd love to be like, a year from now, try and market the shit out of it, get some money in to respend into ad spend and get every single Facebook group in New Zealand,
Until
every
they can tell us
what the costs are.
what they're spending our money on and who is getting it.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to do. That would be cool, man. I just think so much it'd be so amazing if more money was used better, more projects would go ahead, more stuff would happen, stuff would
And
move
look at those
quicker.
development contributions.
Mm,
56,000 to what was it,
yeah.
109?
I'll just show you right now because I'm going to speak facts, not things here. But yeah, Tauranga. Let me get it up, mate. I just posted it on
Yeah.
Instagram and thing this morning, but I just want to pull it up while I'm here. Yeah, it's wild, man. I'm a developer in Tauranga doing a small townhouse project in Gate Pa. Last year, I got an estimate from the council for development contributions came to $58,587, excluding GIST. Fast forward a few months, so I'm going to say 3 or 4. I asked for an updated estimate since the old one had expired, and it came back at $118,627, excluding GST. That's double from one policy change.
And
58K to 118.
it's not like they double their output.
Nah. Did they push through twice the amount of consents? Did twice the amount of development like opportunities arise for new sections, new titles, new subdivisions? Did they cut their staff by half? Did they double and double everything else? Nah,
And
man.
these people are destroying New Zealand and New
Yeah.
Zealand society because we no longer have a property owning democracy because
Mm,
the average person now can't afford their own house.
yeah. I'm pretty much physically leaving New Zealand at the end of next month for the foreseeable future because I see bigger opportunities offshore.
Of
And
course.
like, why should I pay $8 for an avocado in New Zealand? And why should I pay my rates when all these guys are freaking useless?
Well, good luck. Keep in
Thanks, mate.
touch. We'll have you on. That's Real Talk with Rodney Hyde. And we've been talking to David Baker. You can find him on X. It's DBakerNZ, right?
Perfect.
And I don't know the other ones. Instagram,
Rapid QS, that's where you need to find us, man.
Rapid QS. There you go. Rapid QS. That's his
Awesome.
business. What a great guy. Send us a text 2057. Email us inbox at realitycheck.radio. You have a great day. Keep on top of them.
We'll talk soon, eh? I'll give you an
Yep.
update in maybe another 4 to 6 weeks.
Love it. Talk soon. Bye bye.
See you guys.